Hello, ladies. Happy Friday. Today is day 6 of the Spiritual Love Detox Challenge, and I am excited because we've gone through quite a few different things throughout this week. So, I wanted to talk a little bit more about goal setting, taking action, what this even has to do with your love life, like how did we get on goals? And then I want to share with you about tomorrow's live session, which I will be sharing some more tips that you can actually put into place to help you in your relationships. So just give me a second. I just wanted to get my notes. So one of the things that I wanted you to do is to focus on one thing that, you would set as your goal. It can be something big, it can be something small, but I want it to be the most important thing for you right now. So in choosing, what it is that you want to focus on, that is going to be your intention and where you want to direct your energy as far as your relationships and love life is concerned. So a lot of times we actually don't really plan things when it comes to our relationships. We kind of just let things happen. We don't have a plan. We don't have any guidelines. So we're just out there just doing stuff. And that can be cool, but you also want to have some intention behind, dating and behind what it is that you want when it comes to your relationships. Otherwise, you can find yourself settling. Hey, Tiffany. Hey, Tamika. Thank you for joining. You can find yourself, not having clear boundaries, being taken advantage of. So it's important that you know what you want. And that's why today kind of focuses on like a goal, something that you can do for yourself to improve, either an existing relationship, the relationship you have with yourself, or just something overall. So for some, it might be, making time in your schedule just to go out to socialize, to even, be around other adults so that you can kind of start mixing and mingling again. For some, it may be you need to have a conversation with someone. Some people might just need to sit down and reflect, and see what lessons you may have learned in past relationships. So your goal is definitely going to be unique and specific to you, but what's going to be the same for everyone, no matter what our goal is like the process of creating a goal and being successful in achieving it. So a few years ago, I did this goal setting challenge, and that was a lot of fun for me because when I first was coaching, I was doing more personal growth. So I have a certification in happiness, life purpose, life story, goals and success, and a couple other different things, which is how I got my master coaching certification, being knowledgeable in all these different areas of life, which is great. It's very beneficial. And I see how all of these things can come together and really help someone improve their life and their relationships overall. So it's totally applicable. So when we want things to change, we have to change. We have to start doing new things. We have to start thinking new things. It's not easy. And that's why a lot of people don't always succeed in the goals they set for themselves. And I had some notes. I'm just looking for those. Oh my goodness. Maybe I did not send them to myself. Okay, I did. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, and I also wrote a little ebook, and I talked about goals as well in there. But what I wanted to share is why goals sometimes don't work. One is that we don't set them. So when we do not have a goal or clear path in mind, we're not creating our own destiny. We're kind of just, like I said before, just letting things happen. Or we set a goal that does not inspire us, something that's not as meaningful to really make us like dig deep and do what it takes to make it happen. It could be that they're not specific. You're not putting it into written form. So me, like I have to write things down. And there was a quote, I want to say Erykah Badu said, write it down and watch it happen. So when you write something down, you're making a plan, you're transferring those thoughts onto paper, and it kind of makes it a little more tangible, a little more concrete. Another thing is that we don't have a plan of action, and those are like the little steps that need to be taken to get there. So it's good to have a goal, right? But if you don't know the pieces involved in it, then you still may get lost somewhere along the way. We also tend to not take the right steps. So we have a goal, but we don't have the right steps to the goal. So we're not going to get there if we're not doing the right things. Roadblocks and obstacles are going to be a part of the process. And when they happen, they don't happen for you to get off track, but that's what happens. So we come across a roadblock, we stumble, we fall, we throw our hands up, and we're done with it. Instead, we need to see that obstacle as some sort of a motivator, something to help us push through, to see our way through it instead of letting it stop us from reaching our dreams. Continuing to do things that don't work is another reason why goals don't work, and then not having accountability. With relationships, it's kind of the same thing, right? These same things could apply to a relationship. A relationship doesn't work if it doesn't have any direction or if you don't have any goals as a couple. If the relationship doesn't inspire you, if you don't really see an end, a clear vision of the future with someone, that relationship is probably not going to be that successful. But to be successful, you need to be inspired. Your goal needs to inspire you. You need to have a plan, but your plan also should have a little flexibility to it. Because like I said, things will pop up and you'll have to shift and pivot, not to get off course, but just to adjust to what's happening around you. You'll want to know what steps you need to take. And of course, those can change. So flexibility is needed. And you want to overcome any roadblocks and learn from whatever challenges you may face along the way. And then you want to have support to keep you on track. When it comes to relationships, sometimes we rely on the wrong people for support. You don't want to go to your friend who is unhappy in her marriage to ask her about getting married or to ask her, marriage advice, because her perspective may be skewed. You don't want to ask your single friend who is still living the club life, things about your committed relationship. They might not understand. So, one of my goddess sisters, Rainier Amen, she is the pink love specialist, and she has this book called The Pit Crew. And in it, she basically assigns each person a job. So if you're familiar with racing, and this is why it stuck out to me, because I love NASCAR for a very long time. I still want to go to a race, haven't made one yet. But if you ever see, the cars stop in the pit, and then there's like the mechanics, and they're putting gas in, they're changing the tires, they're wiping the windows. Everybody in the pit has a job to keep the car running. So you can think of the people in your life as the pit crew, but you need to know who is going to give you the gas, who's going to just be for fun, who you can talk to about deep things, and who is just, your fun time friend. So knowing who can help you and support you in your goal is so key to being successful. So when I started my business, there was not anyone like in my immediate friend circle that I could talk to about business. To them, it was all crazy. They're like, you have a good job. Like, what are you doing? That's not going to work. So I stopped talking to them about it. And as I went out to different events and started meeting other, influencers, bloggers, entrepreneurs, then I developed a circle of friends who understood my vision and what I was trying to do. So you want the same thing with your relationship. If you know your best friend hates your boyfriend or just wants you to be single, so, summertime is coming, not to go to her with issues, because sometimes what happens, we lovingly go to our friend or even our moms, and we're like, so-and-so did this and this happened, and they are like ready to go to war for you because somebody hurt their baby. Because in that moment you needed to express yourself, but then everything is all good and they're still holding on to the thing that you told them they did. So next time you come to them with an issue, it's like they might sow negativity back. Like, you need to leave them. They're not a good person, when, it's just you're trying to just express what's going on. So you have to be careful who you allow into your relationship space, because not everyone can support you. Not everybody wants to see you happy. And that's another reason why having some sort of goal around your love life is important, so that you are focused on what it is that you desire. So we have short-term, long-term, and then lifetime goals. So for the goal that you chose today, it can be short-term. I would probably recommend something short-term, which is in like the next 3 months, and that's to get you to take action, to start putting things into play, so that you can start to see the shifts you desire in your relationships. So we start by thinking what it is that we want. And we kind of talked about that on day 4, really getting clear on what you want in a relationship, so you know what to work towards and what steps you need to take. And once you figure out what it is that you want, then you can start to list what is it going to take to get there. So let's say, like, one of my long-term or lifetime goals is, of course, I would say my long-term goal is to, what's the word? I want to improve my current relationship and get it to, a different level. My lifetime goal is I want to have a long-term marriage. So then I need to think about, there's a lot that goes into that. So of course, like, get married isn't going to be my goal, because that's not going to happen overnight. But there are a lot of different things that I can do. So one thing that I may need to do is start by having a conversation. Well, so then I'm like, okay, well, what do I need to do to prepare for that, right? So I need to, get a date and time where we can sit down and talk. I need to figure out how I'm going to express myself. What are the key things that I want to say? I might even need to practice it so that I don't miss, the big points. So just things like that, like, okay, what is it going to take for me? Like, maybe I need to pray beforehand and meditate, so I can, like, clear out any, feelings of insecurity, any fear, nervousness, clear all of that stuff out, so that I can go take a deep breath, go in confidently, radiant, and just say what it is that I need to say. So yeah, that is most of everything that I wanted to talk about as far as goal setting. I'm going to include the link to the goal setting challenge I did. I think it's like maybe 7 videos, but they're very short. They're less than 5 minutes. So it just kind of gives you like each step. So if you don't even know where to start with your goal, that'll help you just identify it and break it down real quick. So I'm trying to think, what else was there that I wanted to share with you all today? How are you liking the challenge so far? I'm really excited about tomorrow, because we get to meet, and I'm going to do the 3 secrets of spiritual love. There's actually going to be a 4th bonus secret as well. So I'm really excited about that, because I just like going through it. I think it's really exciting. Okay, let me see. Is this what I'm looking for? It is. And you can also look at setting this goal as, like as a self-care thing. Oh, hi. I loved your Enchanted Coven today. I was listening, but I couldn't type. And oh my gosh, I hope you do like a whole series on that, Shane. Thank you for hopping on. But think about this as like your, ready, set, glow. So even if like goal can sometimes be triggering for people. So they're like, oh, it's the goal, it's stuff I got to do. Think of it as your glow up. You're going to level up your relationships by taking new action in your life. Then the next thing, right? So we talked about why goals don't work, what we need to get there. breaking down the steps is really important. So we have the steps broken down. The next thing you want to do is actually plan the time to do it. So I have my calendar. This is the Law of Attraction Planner, which I absolutely love. And it has my vision board in here that I always have to show people just because I don't know. You're welcome. Hi, Mignon. But you want to plan to take action. So put it in your calendar. You can put it in your phone, put it in your written calendar. Create a date for you to do the things that you need to do. And you can even think of it as a date. So it doesn't have to be anything that feels yucky. Just think of it as like that's time for you to spend cultivating your love life. And once you start to take these little steps and you start to approach your love life in a different way, being a little more like proactive and more clear and direct on what you want, you'll find that the people around you and events around you will start to respond to that as well. So yeah, just go at it with a positive mindset. Start taking those steps towards what it is that you desire. And a lot of times that's where we can fall short because we don't know that we can plan these things out, and we can be intentional and also flexible. And I want to say that again because we can get so caught up in trying to get what we want, trying to do all of the actions, that when something knocks us off, we fall down and we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. The intention and the planning is so when something that is totally out of alignment, it's totally not what you want. So when that thing comes up, you can be like, no thanks. We still have to, flow and adjust with life. And the thing about relationships is that we need to remember that you cannot control another person. I can barely control my toddler. She's 3. Oh my God. I can barely control her. You definitely cannot control another adult. Everyone has free will, and everyone has their own stuff. Everybody has their own stuff. So they're going to absorb information based on, their paradigm, their perceptions, the things that they've been through. So you may be, the most loving, and you're trying to do all of the things that you can, and they might not be receptive. It's not about you, it's their stuff. So just remember that as you start moving forward in doing, making some of these changes so that you can start to see the shifts that you desire in your own relationships. And I wanted to pull a card for us today, and I was just looking because I'm not sure what deck I want to use. I think I'm going to go back to the Whispers of Love. I really like these cards. So I'm going to pull a card, and while I concentrate on that, I'll just kind of catch up some of the people that just joined. Thank you for coming on. I hope that you have been enjoying the Spiritual Love Challenge. It's almost over, but it's not, because we can always keep the party going in the Spiritual Love Circle. So I'm just thinking about your goals and, okay. Okay. So this beautiful card popped up, and it says, focus on love. Like, how perfect is that? Look for the good attributes in each and every person in your life. So as you start to move forward in working towards the goals and things that you desire in love, if you focus on love and you are being loving, everyone will start to respond in kind. And even when someone responds to you out of hurt, which is typically like what anger is, somebody's hurting and they are expressing it in the wrong way. They're responding out of hurt, anger, frustration. Stay loving. Look for the good in them, and just send them love, and keep going and keep focusing on your goals and what you desire. And I'm going to look. I think this card is so beautiful. There's there's a dragon right there, which is just cute. And she's like a tree and they're in the water. And the thing I love about this, she's also holding out a beetle for the dragon. Dragons actually represent like the divine feminine. They have a lot to do with feminine energy. And even like thinking about movies that I used to watch that had a dragon, it was always like a mama dragon. Even in Shrek, I think the dragon was a mom, if I'm not mistaken. But dragons are really special. I've always loved dragons. So focus on love. Look for the good attributes in each and every person in your life. It is easy to see the faults in other people. Think of the positive characteristics of the people in your life. Remember the things that caused you to love them in the first place. Focusing on the love will change and heal the negativity that was once there. So that's a really beautiful message. And also see that in yourself. Focus on your good characteristics. And focus on all the many, many unlimited reasons to love yourself and why others love you. You always want to keep love as your focus and as your center. And when you ever start to feel like you're out of balance, like you're not coming from a loving place, one thing I do is I'll just place my hand over my heart and I'll just breathe in. And as I'm breathing in, I'm like filtering that breath through my heart. So everything is like my heart is a filter, and I'm just envisioning and feeling that fresh air as I'm breathing in life force energy going through my heart, and just centering myself. And even if you just sit quiet enough and just feel the beat of your heart as you breathe, that in itself is really, really powerful. So, my dear loves, I am going to sign off. Did anyone want to share about like their goal or anything that they may have gotten out of the challenge so far? Tomorrow is going to be the closing day of the challenge, and I'm excited. So I'm going to send you an email tonight, and I'll probably send a reminder tomorrow with the link for you to join me. We'll probably use Zoom. So for the 3 Secrets love lesson that I'll be sharing with you. So I'm really excited, and I'm really proud of you for like taking this opportunity, and I am honored and blessed to have been your guide throughout this week. So thank you for allowing me to show up and to do what I love to do, which is to share and encourage others. So thank you. It's Friday. I hope you have a magnificent weekend. The love lesson is going to be probably tomorrow morning around 11, and depending, I may do a second one. So if 11 doesn't work, I may do another one in the evening. I just haven't committed to that yet. I'm not sure what my schedule is going to look like, but I do hope you join. I will keep the replay up of that. I'll probably post it in the group so that it's just kind of like a standing thing. I appreciate you all so much. Have a magical weekend, and I will see you live tomorrow. Bye.